Hi everyone, welcome back for another episode of Adams for the Love of Movie Picks. This time around we're going to be talking about the 2007 movie Ghost Rider, starring Nicolas Cage as Johnny Blaze, the Ghost Rider, Eva Mendes as Roxanne, his love interest. There's a few other known ones in this. Sam Elliott is the caretaker and the previous Ghost Rider. Donald Logue as Johnny Blaze's best friend Mac. Just having a look here. Oh yeah, and Peter Fonda playing the devil. And I forget what the guy's real name is, but he plays the devil's son more or less, Blackheart. I've seen him in a few different movies as well. So before I get into about Ghost Rider and the things I like about it, I just wanted to say, so Ghost Rider along with The Punisher, which is a previous one that I'd done, and one other one which I had mentioned, I may do a video on it in the future, The Phantom. Are some of my three most favorite superheroes, if you could so call them. Just because they're cool. They're kind of outsiders, they're kind of loners, they're kind of dark superheroes, but they're some of the coolest looking superheroes in my opinion. I mean, the Punisher is more or less a man, but he's just, does anything to get the job done. Talked about the Punisher. Ghost Rider, in my opinion, hands down, is the most badass, coolest looking superhero. He's the devil's bounty hunter. He's literally a dude with a flaming skull for a head. Just looks so cool. Love the Ghost Rider. And, the Phantom. Now, Punisher and Ghost Rider are for sure Marvel creations. I was having a look at the Phantom because I wasn't really sure about this one. It apparently was started as its own independent comic strip by a company called Ace Comics. And throughout the years, DC has had some rights to it, done some comics on it, and so has Marvel. So it's really kind of passed hands through a bunch of people. But again, this one is cool. It's basically it's almost like a Zorro type thing. It's a family that does the character Zorro in Mexico, like the different Zorros throughout the history, with the same idea with the Phantom. He's supposedly infused with supernatural powers in this fictional country called Bengala. It's a cool looking character. I love the name. I just feel like they don't get the recognition that they deserve. That being said, moreover with the Ghost Rider and the Punisher, this is something in a future, I would hope sometime in the future they would do. I think it would be awesome. I was sad that they didn't incorporate them. I don't know if it was they just wanted to focus on the main superheroes throughout the Marvel comics, if they just wanted to focus on the more, what they would quote-unquote quintessential good guy superheroes. I was disappointed that neither the Punisher or the Ghost Rider got incorporated in any of the Avenger movies. Now, I'm not a huge expert on the comics. I don't know if the Punisher and or Ghost Rider were ever actually incorporated into the Avengers in any of the comic books. I'm not 100% sure on that. But even as just, for the sake of saving the universe against Thanos, use it with the Avengers, I think it would be amazing. Like, case in point, like, you've got the Guardians of the Galaxy. You've got the Wakandans. There's a whole bunch of people that were allies with the Avengers against Thanos. Same idea I think they could have done with the Punisher and the Ghost Rider. I know the Ghost Rider they used him in the Shield TV series, which is cool. I just think it would have been cool if they used the Punisher and the Ghost Rider to some extent in the Avengers movies, moreover than their own standalone separate movies and universe. I'm hoping sometime in the future they will definitely think about doing that, because I think it'd be awesome to have them in there. The only one that I know of that the Punisher was included in was a standalone animated film called Avengers Confidential, I think it was called. It was just kind of a strange movie where they almost like the Punisher's the bad guy, and then he gets kind of recruited by S.H.I.E.L.D. to slash Avengers, so it was kind of neat, but I think in a real life scene it would be a lot cooler. But I'm kind of rambling on here, getting off track. I just kind of wanted to give you that food for thought about these three superheroes, and also what I would hope to see maybe in future projects from Marvel Studios, the cinematic universe, incorporating the Punisher and the Ghost Rider in some respect in the wider Avengers / Marvel universe. So going back to the Ghost Rider, which is really what we're supposed to be talking about in this movie, this is a movie that some people like it, some people hate it. I personally don't think it was that terrible of a movie. Could it have been done better? Yes. Could have maybe you picked a different actor to play the Ghost Rider? Absolutely. Do I think Nicolas Cage was the worst choice to play the Ghost Rider? Absolutely not. Um, it's a movie that people kind of lump it in with the Daredevil, Ben Affleck Daredevil, and Elektra movies, like the superhero movies that a lot of people said they flopped. They didn't live up to their expectations. I think the Ghost Rider was really cool. I think the story was well told on this one, the way they laid it out. How, Johnny Blaze becoming the Ghost Rider, the reasons for it, when he becomes the Ghost Rider, just the overall look of it, I think was really well done. And the use of some veteran actors like Sam Elliott playing the previous Ghost Rider, I think was brilliant. So for me personally, it's not necessarily the best superhero movie I've ever seen, but far from the worst. I definitely recommend checking out Ghost Rider if you've never seen it. Hard to believe it came out in 2007. That just blows my mind. 15 years ago this movie came out. Now, there is a sequel called Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance. It's got Nicolas Cage again as Ghost Rider. To me, I didn't include it in this video simply because I really like the first one. Spirit of Vengeance is okay, but to me, it just doesn't have the storyline of the first one. It's not as good. It's one of those sequels, in my opinion, that kind of falls on its face. It's worth a watch, for a decent movie, and just seeing the Ghost Rider. It's certainly more. Ghost Rider is a dark character to begin with, but he is very dark in the second one. Like Johnny Blaze is just kind of gone off the reservation. He's just a super dark, creepy Ghost Rider. But yeah, I think it gives it a more darker tone if you could do such a thing to a Ghost Rider character. And the premise of it, like I said, other than him becoming the Ghost Rider, Blackheart, which is the son of the devil, has gone out of hell and is trying to overthrow his father and take over the earth with the contract of San Venganza. A contract of 1,000 evil souls, basically. That the previous Ghost Rider, I'm trying to think what his name is. They call him the Caretaker. Man, that's gonna bug me. I can't think of what his name was. But he was basically a Texas Ranger, like in the mid 1800s, and he was tasked with getting this contract of San Venganza for the devil, and he basically, instead of giving it to the devil, he rode off with it. Well, then Blackheart comes looking for the contract to power himself up. It was Carter Slade, I believe, is what the previous Ghost Rider's name was. So yeah, just great action sequences, great story, great special effects. Highly recommend the Ghost Rider if you've never seen it. I don't think it's as bad as a lot of people make it out to be. But I'll leave that up for your discretion, folks. Hope you enjoyed this one, and we'll catch you in the next one. All right? Have yourselves a good night.